Hi, this is CeeLo, the Traveling Trader, and I'm coming live from Everglades Safari Park here in southern Florida. And today, I'm gonna be talking to you about the 9 most interesting things about the American alligator. But first, I am the Traveling Trader, right? Let me show you how we get to the bag.
All right, guys, I got 2 positions here on USD JPY. One of them is well in profit, the other one's teetering in profit. But I'm about to grab the bag here in the next 5 seconds on the first position. Boom. And now I have got, about 5 minutes left for the second one. So got about 5 minutes left for the second one, so I'll be back when I'm closer. As we've got about 60 seconds left on this trade. I already cleared the first one. We are about 20 micro pips in profit right now. It's still fairly close though. It's still fairly close, but we're looking good. We're looking real good. We've got maybe about 40 seconds or so left. Got about 40 seconds left. Make that 20 seconds now. All right, I'd say about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, boom. And we got it, guys. We got it.
Show where I'm going to describe their characteristics and behavior. These guys have been in captivity their whole life, so they're used to us. We come in here daily, we feed them, we interact with them, so they know me and they know why I'm here. And some of these alligators also know their names too. Unusual. It's highly illegal to release these guys into the wild because they're not afraid of people. So by law, they have to stay in captivity. And just take note, this time of the year, the Everglades is pretty seasonal as far as the amount of wildlife you see. If you like seeing alligators and birds, we see most of the alligators and birds during the dry season tours, January, February, March, April. During those months, the water is very, very low. There's a lot of fish trapped in shallow ponds. You see a lot more wading birds feeding on the fish. A lot more alligators are concentrated together, and it's a little bit cooler, so they want to actually sit in the sun for a while. So typically you'll see sometimes about up to 1,000 birds on each boat ride and maybe 40 to 50 alligators during the dry season. The drier it gets, the more you'll see here. This time of the year when the water is really, really high, the animals have more places to go. It's also very hot for them. Alligators don't like very hot temperatures. They like cooler climates. So look at all these guys. These guys are in the water or in the shade. So this time of year you don't see a whole lot during your boat ride because of that. Crocodiles thrive in hot water. They love hot temperatures. They don't like any kind of cold weather. So crocodiles will do great this time of the year in this kind of weather. But with the high water, they're spread out all over the place, and we see more insects and flowers in bloom this time of year than we do alligators and birds. Ready? On the menu for these guys today is chunks of fish and chicken with bone. In the wild here, they love to eat fish and turtles, but these are very opportunistic animals. They'll eat another alligator, a smaller one, a snake, a bird, an otter. They just don't eat as often as humans because they sit around like this a lot more than we do. The less the animal species moves around, the less they're going to eat. The more often an animal moves, the more often they'll eat. So if one of these guys eats a big fish or a turtle when it's hot here, that meal might last them up to a week before they want to eat again. In the wintertime, sometimes up to a month. All right, so they're alligators, but they're under an order called crocodilian. And there's 24 types of these animals. They're found all over the world, places that are warm near the equator. So you got 2 species of alligators on the planet. This is an American alligator. Then there's one in China, the Chinese alligator. There's 15 species of crocodiles on the planet. We have one in the Everglades called the American crocodile. There are 6 species of caiman, which are in the alligator family. Caiman are naturally in Central to South America and parts of the Caribbean. Then there's one called a gharial that's native to India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh. And gharials have the skinniest snout out of them all. So these guys have a long life. They can live a long time. I believe the oldest that lived in captivity was around 80 years old. You can hear they have a very powerful jaw. They're up to 2,000 pounds per square inch of closing pressure. Alligators do. Crocodiles even more than that, certain species. They don't chew their food. They have to lock a hole in something if it's bigger than them, shake their head to rip off chunks of meat, roll around in a circle called a death roll to rip off chunks of meat. You've got an average of 80 teeth, 40 on top, 40 on bottom, and they shed those teeth and go through around 3,000 teeth in their lifetime. Eyeballs are able to retract into cavities in their skull for protection if they fight with each other. I'm going to gently touch his eyes. You see they automatically go right into the skull completely flat. And then they have another eyelid they use when they go under the water. That one's called a nictitating membrane. That one covers their eyes left to right, so when they're under the water, they at least have some visibility, some protection under the water. But take note, alligators and crocodiles don't see clearly under the water. With that membrane covering their eyes, it makes their eyesight really blurry, really foggy. They can't focus on anything under the water. It's like wearing sunglasses under the water. So it's important they rely on another way to feel around under the water. One thing they use is their feet. If you look close, each of them has 5 fingers on their front feet, only 4 on their back feet. Each foot has 3 claws on the inside. It's going to help them climb in and out of the water. These other digits never have a claw, which is 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Because without that claw, it's more sensitive. So when they're on the bottom, they can feel things moving around a little bit easier. That might be food, something to eat, or another threat. Bigger alligator. The ears are located right here. These are their ears, just a little flap of skin, open and closed. Alligators are very vocal reptiles, so it's pretty important these guys hear each other. They hiss, they bellow, they growl, they grunt. And a very important part of an alligator is all these bumps you see on their back. They're called osteoderms. Each little panel is called a scute, but these are osteoderms. Osteo meaning bone, derm meaning skin. They're individual pieces of bone that float in a little layer of skin above his backbone. Very tough since it's bone, it's kind of like armor. And they also act like solar panels. They sit in the sun, they absorb some heat, the heat's pushed to their body, helps them digest a meal or gives them energy. Greedy. Greedy's around 7.5 feet, 8 feet long, and the state record is double his size, 14 feet, 3.5 inches, nearly 5 meters. Any questions? Guys, the last thing I'll leave you with is their natural behavior in the wild. Wild alligators have a fear of humans. This is why it's illegal to feed them. If you feed an alligator in Florida and you get in trouble and you're not cooperative, our maximum punishment is up to 60 days in jail and up to a $5,000 fine just for feeding one. As soon as you feed wild alligators, they forget the fear of humans, they associate humans with food, they approach people kind of expecting or begging for food, and then accidents happen. There's been 30 people that have been unfortunately killed by alligators in the United States since the year 1948 when we started recording these statistics. So in 72 years, 30 people have been killed, which is definitely tragic. This actually tells us a little bit about their behavior. These are not the saltwater crocodiles you find in northern Australia, Southeast Asia. They get twice as big as alligators, they're very, very aggressive, and they're known to be man-eaters. If this was a saltwater crocodile, I wouldn't be casually in here like I am right now. I'd be sitting out there with you guys. And they're nowhere near as dangerous as the most dangerous animals on the planet, humans, which was an average of 15,000 homicides each and every year just in the United States alone. So in order to live around these animals, respect them, give them space. We recommend at least 15 feet away. Never approach the water's edge when there's alligators and crocodiles and bend down. Your body gets a lot smaller than it really is. If you splash in the water, it might look like an animal drinking a drink. Or never walk a small pet by the water's edge. These are American alligators, the king and queen of the Everglades. Hope you guys enjoyed the show and the information. You got to see some cool behavior from Greedy.
Here's a couple interesting facts about the Everglades.
Hi, my name is Alfred. I work here in Everglades Safari Park. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Everglades. Now, most people, when they do come out here, they think they're going to run into one big swamp. As you can see around this is not a swamp. It's actually a river. And it's the slowest moving river in the U.S. Moving about 1 mile every 24 hours. And that's due to all the vegetation that you see around us. All this grass out here will slow down the water flow quite a bit. Now, the grass is also the reason why they refer to the Everglades as the river of grass. Now, all the water surrounding the boat right now, this is all fresh water, rainwater. All this water starts up by Kissimmee, Florida, the Orlando area, and that's north of where we're at right now. There is a huge lake out there called Lake Okeechobee. Once it fills up with rainwater, it will overspill, pushing all of its water south to where we're at right now. And then from here, the water will continue moving south another couple of miles till it hits the Florida Bay where it's going to enter the Gulf. Now, this water is very important out here, folks, especially to some of the people that live in the surrounding areas. Some of the native Floridians out here actually use this dirty, muddy water, believe it or not, as drinking water or bathing water. Now, it does filter through different layers of the grass, mud, dirt, and rock. And there is one rock out here, which is pretty much the grounds of the Everglades, a limestone. Now, once the water's done filtering through this rock out here, water management out there, they're going to pick it up, they're going to filter it some more, basically make it safe to drink, And then at that point, they will send it out through the pumps to your homes and hotels for use. Now, all the grass that you see around this is very important as well. Not only does it filter the water, this grass out here is actually edible and can save your life in an emergency. We do have an island out here, but we did have a family. Their last name was Tiger Tail, and they were part of the Miccosukee tribe. In order to survive on the island, they would also eat the grass. Besides grass, they would also eat things like fish, birds, turtles, snakes, and some tourists. Just joking. Now, we do have about 300 different types of birds that do visit us, especially during the winter season, come out here and lay their eggs. And we also have everyone's favorite animal out here as well, the snakes. We have about 27 different types of snakes, 18 of which live in the water, and there are 4 that are very deadly. Eastern diamondback rattlesnake, pygmy rattlesnake, water moccasin, and coral snake. And we also have the Burmese python. Folks, make sure you come out here to visit us at Everglades Safari National Park. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed my video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. And if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about my channel or Forex trading, check these videos out right here. See ya.